The child tax credit, there's some good news about the child tax credit. We may, because of Mike Johnson, there may be expansion of the child tax credit. And I'll end on this piece of good news. Mike Johnson has accomplished nothing. However, he did pass the single most progressive piece of legislation since Joe Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law, the Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act. It passed the Republican House with an overwhelming bipartisan majority. Only 70 voted against it. This will lift millions of children out of poverty once again by expanding the child tax credit. If you remember, the child tax credit was expanded significantly early in the Biden administration, but it sundowned, and by 2022 was gone. They still had the child tax credit, but not the expansion. During that brief period of the expansion, we saw the greatest reduction in poverty since Lyndon Johnson was president. So to make it a bipartisan bill, it also expands certain tax credits for corporations. It is languishing. It passed in the House. It's languishing in the democratically controlled Senate, where Chuck Schumer is having trouble getting the 60 votes necessary to overcome a filibuster. A lot of hardline Republicans object to hundreds of thousands of migrant children who have gone through the system, been granted parole, are awaiting their asylum hearings. This bill, to Mike Johnson's credit, God bless him, would provide the expansion to hundreds of thousands of migrant children. And that is what is causing the holdup in the Senate. But I said when I talked about this earlier, Mike Johnson is a POS. But if he gets the child tax credit expanded, I can forgive a lot of his transgressions. This would be huge. And we're hearing late Tuesday night that there's some movement in the Senate on this expansion of the tax credits. This guy has done a lot of bad things in his life, Mike Johnson. But I said on this show, if he gets the child tax credit expanded, and it looks like it's going to be expanded retroactively, so that when people are filling out their taxes on April 15th, they will receive money for 2023. This would be huge, and it would lift, once again, millions out of poverty. I don't know. Mike Johnson would almost be okay in my book if he gets it did pass the House. It did pass the House. Well, he'll never be okay in my book. But he is taking care of the weak. That's what children. You got to take care of children and lift them out of poverty.